Welcome back to Court Farm for episode 8 with me, MrSealyp. Welcome back everyone. We're into October. It's October 1. All sorts of things going on. We've got 3 contracts we've taken on. You've already seen we did a load of baling contracts for Court Farm. They just kept taking them on. We kept doing them. We did a split, 1/3, 2/3. It was their contract on their ticket, so they got 1/3, and we did the contract work, so we got 2/3. I tell you what I've noticed as well, when we said about the camping, look, tents have gone. We are into October. It's a little bit chillier. A few caravans. Hot tenting's not a very big thing here in the UK, to be honest with you. A lot of places now have electrical hookups, even for camping, not just for caravans and mobile homes and camper vans. And what a lot of people will do is they'll take the multi-sockets and they'll plug in all sorts of appliances and make it more glamping, and they'll have a heater and stuff. So if you're going to go off-season camping, I guess. We're going to check on the crops, we're going to check on the animals, as I said I was going to do, and I'll show when we get down. And we're going to go down to Stonebridge in a little while. We've got stuff to do down there. Been talking to Barry. Barry from the Tenant Farmers Association is going to help us out with something. Again, I'll explain a little bit more about that in a little while. But our bales went down. So our bales are down at Stonebridge, the ones we had from before. These bales are from the 6 baling contracts, so these were left over. These belong to Court Farm. Actually, I was to say about that, I've just driven past it. I keep getting clobbered every time I say Court Farms, and people saying it's Court Farm, not Court Farms. The sign out here, I'm sure it says Court Farms with S. So if I say Court Farm or Court Farms, it doesn't matter. I mean, it didn't matter before, but I'm sure when I drove past the sign going home, yeah, look, Court Farms Country Park. So it doesn't matter if I say Court Farm or Court Farms. It's fine. Relax, everybody. It's all good. So yeah, so they've got a load of silage bales here. We've got a load of silage bales down there. We did top up. We haven't filled up the feed for the animals. The rabbits are doing fine. We're going to check on the crop on the way past. So the canola went in the ground. I don't think we've got any weeds yet, but I will double check on that. I was watching Ollie Blogs the other day, and he was saying about the flea beetle, which is funny because Kaleb said the same thing to me when he messaged me and said, I want you to plough the fields, I want you to prep the fields, I want you to get canola in as soon as possible. Now, they refer to it as OSR, oilseed rape, and obviously in game it's, we know it as canola, I guess. pH value perfect, nitrogen perfect, doesn't show weeds at the moment. That need to be got rid of, but it is growing. Yeah, but Ollie Blogs, one of his fields was absolutely decimated. And they were saying about the fact that one of the chemicals that used to be put onto the seeds, like a coating on the seed, that when the plant grew was effective against flea beetle. Scientists did some testing and found that it was harmful to bees, so it was banned. And now the crops are growing, but the flea beetle's just attacking it all. But what they did when they did the testing, now this is according to Ollie Blogs, I'm no expert on this, they painted this chemical onto bees, and surprisingly it killed them. What a shock, what a shocker that it would do that. But like he said, when we have them coating on seeds, we put the seeds in the ground. So we sow, we drill, the seed goes in the ground, seed gets covered, crop grows. When the crop grows, it's to stop the flea beetle from attacking it. At what point would bees be coated in this chemical It's very strange. So yeah, so they're having an absolute nightmare with flea beetle. Anyway, chickens are doing fine. We've got a couple of egg pallets. Cows here, the dairy portion of KCC's herd, are doing great. They are producing milk. A lot of people messaged me to say that there is a trigger here for straw blowing. I couldn't find it, and then someone else messaged me and said they did wonder whether people have been changing the XML files to get it to work there. The only place I could get it to blow from was here. But again, thank you to everyone that's been messaging. I mean, you know, I do appreciate it. I just, that's not where I managed to find the trigger, unfortunately. It is 10:05. It's 10:05 because, well, that's the time, but also it was pouring with rain and it was dark till gone 8. So I thought, well, the easiest thing to do is wait until the rain stops. We've taken on, well, KCC, we've taken on 3 contracts, and it's a bit of an odd one. We've got a harvesting contract to do. Rabbits are doing fine as well. And the view, as ever, is just gorgeous. We've got a sowing contract, and we're using the seeder here from Court Farm. We're a symbiotic relationship now. We are completely intertwined. Left Twix and right Twix. And we've got cultivating. I was going to say weeding, but the weeding contracts appeared and vanished really quickly, which was a bit weird. We've got no weeds in our fields, which is great. And then we've got a harvesting contract. Now the harvesting contract is an odd one, and I'm assuming it's a test, like a test plot, a test field. And it's cotton. Now in the UK we don't usually grow cotton because it needs hot, humid and long summers and, you know, that kind of thing. But it is grown in polytunnels and greenhouses down the south coast of the UK. It is grown and has been grown, but normally in polytunnels. So I can only assume the field we've got to do is a test field to see whether it would work, I guess. So we've got that to do as well. But we're heading down to Stonebridge Farm. We've got some stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about getting fat, although I don't think we're going to get fat. It's the Farm Agricultural Tenancy. Now, I don't think we can get one of those, but we can get an FBT, which is a Farm Business Tenancy, which I think is what we're going to be aiming for. We've been talking to Barry at the Tenant Farmers Association, who's going to help us out with that, hopefully. Because we said about buying the farm here, and then Barry messaged and said, well, had you thought about a tenancy and leasing the farm instead, rather than buying it? And it's something I said, we talked about it at FarmCon. Another feature would be brilliant to bring to game, which again, did I say in the last episode? I don't know if they have it on PC already, where I think you can lease fields, but leasing farms, let's turn the engine off actually, for the time being. It would be quite a cool feature to have, where you can lease a farm rather than buy it and own it. And you pay a certain amount a month. So I've been looking up on websites and things. So I've been on the Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs website, looking up, because I was looking to see whether, it's not something I know anything about, whether farm rents are paid monthly or annually, and it works out, I think it's annually, as far as I can tell it's annually. It works out, the average is about £75 per acre per year, and when you go onto the DEFRA website says about 330, 350 average per hectare, which I guess kind of works out about right when you do the conversion between the two, something like that. Well, maybe not, I don't know. It seems to be discrepancies from various different websites, but on the DEFRA website there's all different information about it. Now it looks like, as far as I can tell, that a full agricultural tenancy, the farm agricultural tenancy, was something that, if it was agreed before September 1995, it's normally a lifetime security on the tenure. So if you've got a tenancy on that farm, it's for your lifetime. If you had one prior to 1984, that one carried a statutory succession right on death or retirement for 2 generations. I think that's why they kind of have moved away from them more towards farming business tenancies now. Because if you were a tenant farmer with an agricultural tenancy prior to 1984, if you were on that farm for a long period of time, it guaranteed the fact that your family, who you may have brought up to be farmers as well, 2 generations could then run that farm. But I guess from the landowner's perspective, whoever owned that farm, it might have become a situation where it's a lot harder to get rid of someone who's got a tenancy like that if they're not running the farm how you want it to, or they're running it into the ground, or something's going wrong. And I suppose the environment, the world we live in now, things change and it becomes a lot more cutthroat and, you know, I don't know, there's various different things to look at. But anyway, so I don't think we'll get a farming agricultural tenancy or farm agricultural tenancy. But the farm business tenancy is something that I think we'll probably be able to get. So what we're looking at on the ground here, I have bought, like I say, I bought our bales down. When we did the baling contracts, we had the auto stack trailer. So I bought some of the bales up to Court Farm, and then picked up our bales from our previous baling contracts and brought them down here to this field that we own. We bought this. This belongs to KCC. But we were going to look at buying the farm, but a tenancy looks like it might not be a bad idea. But the tenancy does come with strings. Yes, we can do the farm, but we also have to do, if we go to here, the farm here, which is this one here, comes with 174, 176 and 177. So to run the farm and for it to be a business tenancy, you have to be doing something agricultural, at least on some of the fields, if not all of them. Because obviously you can have fallow fields and you can do various different things, different crops, different diversifications. It's just a business tenancy, but you do have to do agriculture on some of it. So if we are going to take this on, it's going to be 181, 174, 176, 177. Now obviously we're going to have to change that as well for the economy in game, because based upon 300 per hectare, I think it would work out for all three fields, and if we included the acreage of the farm area as well, it'd be about 1,200 per year. Now I don't know whether farm buildings, farm houses, whether the tenancy is just for the farm, because I know you can just get tenancy on fields, you can just take on leasing fields. But whether the farm works out like a mortgage, whether you have to pay like a house rent, I don't know. But anyway, so we're going to adjust it slightly. So using that deductions, is it deductions mod? What was it called? Something like that, wasn't it? It'd be in the description. We're going to probably do 1,000 a month, which is way more than it's showing on any of the websites it would be. But I think for the game, that means we've got to do contracting work because we've got to cover the leasing of this. But there's also, I think, field, what was it, 2 or 1 is ready to harvest. Field 1 is ready to harvest. So we've got a cotton harvest to do, we've got a cultivating contract to do, we've got a seeding contract to do, and then if we take on the lease on here, we've got a harvest to do on here. And like I say, we've got the equipment we can use from Court Farm. We are intertwined. That's all good. So while we're doing that, these bales I've put here, and I've uncovered a couple. These are ready to go. I can just push in whenever I need to. If you look at the bottom right, we've got food and water. Court Farm did buy a tanker trailer just here, which has been bouncing backwards and forwards, putting water in both, and they're all good at the moment. So we haven't got to worry about feed or water at either farm for a little while. We've stocked up. What's interesting is, if we go into our queues, what was it? Oh yeah, the productivity. So total mixed rations 100%, silage is 90% effectiveness, but our productivity is still staying 100%. Now obviously here at Stonebridge we've got all of KCC's beef stock, so there's no milk being produced here. That's the beef herd, so they'll stay here. They'll then gradually become worth more money, etc., which is all very good. And the dairy cows are producing milk, which is great, but they are showing 100% productivity, so can't odds that. So what we'll do is every now and again we'll come down here with the telehand, or I could even use the front of the Land Rover really, just nudge that forward into the trigger. We'll cut a couple every now and again, push them in, and then up at the other farm we'll feed them when they need to. So what we're going to do is we're going to let Barry do his thing. I've been on the phone to him this morning already, and he's working his magic for permits and approvals and permissions and whatnot. We're going to go off up to the store, and we're going to grab, I think we're going to do the cultivating job first. I don't know if we're going to get them all done in this episode, but hopefully by the end of the episode we'll have the tenancy sorted out here, which will also mean that we can bring the tractors that we sort of have at Court Farm. Not that we're storing them now, we've just been doing a lot of work with them. We'll have all of these buildings here that we'll have the use of, and we'll go from there really. That's the plan. So I'll see you at the store in a moment. I've got to double check actually. Again, as I always say, double check. Measure twice, cut once. I've gone the wrong way, haven't I? We want our contracts. Right, so we've got cultivating. It doesn't pay a huge amount, but it's contract work. You know, the harvesting one, yeah, cotton in field 20, take to the garden centre. And then sowing with wheat. We're still within the sowing planting window, so we're good for that. And I'm just concerned that Court Farm are going to keep picking up. That's not a bad one. There was one there yesterday. It was worth 14 grand, but they're all. I think they're mostly hay ones now, not silage ones. And I thought, oh, if they keep picking those up, I mean, at the end of the day, it's how we earn our money. Oh, sugar beet pays quite well. Having had a sugar beet left over might be quite handy. It's trail behind, but if we can get one of these contracts done quickly, we could maybe pick up a sugar beet harvest. That's probably not a bad idea, because at the end of the day, regardless of whether it's a contract you necessarily want to do, we are contracting, and if we are going to take on the lease at Stonebridge, we need to earn money. And if that's something we need to do, if someone contacts us and says, look, we want you to do some contract work, we've got all the equipment but we need you to do it, it's how we earn our bread and butter. So, see you at the store in a moment. Righto, at the store. As we can see, yeah, cotton harvester. Seems a bit peculiar, but we're going with it. Let's hop out. Grab the cultivator. Oh, I don't know if it's a sign. That's twice now I've had fan celts. Let's get in the old boater. Get them on. Considering this is a little bit wide and we're going to be going down some narrow lanes. I think I know where I'm going. While we're heading out here, next bit of news. The world according to Kaleb. On tour. I don't know if I mentioned this before. When we went to see, when we met Kaleb Cooper at Diddley Squat Farm, he was talking about the tour he's doing. And he was really nervous about it because he's not the sort of person that likes to stand up in front of people. But he's doing a tour because he bought out the book, World According to Kaleb. And they said about him doing a tour. So he's touring from January 2024. A lot of dates right the way through from January through till end of March. And I was talking to him the other day. He messaged, or I messaged him, and and I was saying about it, and he said, could I give it a shout out on the video? I was like, of course I can. It kind of makes me smile because the amount of subscribers I've got, and you know, we hit the 100k, which is phenomenal. But on the scale of big YouTubers, I'm not a massive YouTuber. But if you're a small YouTuber, you would look at someone with 100,000 and go, that's a massive YouTuber. So like I said, there's always a scale of economies, isn't there? But on the scale of on Kaleb's Instagram, he's got so many followers, like millions. Anyway, I don't mind. Of course I'll give him a shout out. He starts in Cheltenham. January the 25th and the January the 27th, I think is. But I think that's sold out. But if you fancy going along and hearing a bit of Kaleb putting the world to rights and the world how he sees it and thinks about it, I need to check where we're going here because I'm lost. We're at this junction. We need field 73, which is there. So we should go left, then right, and follow it down. Yeah. Let's go. It's wide, isn't it? It's one of those things again. It might be a 3 or a 4 metre, and you go, no, it's only a 3 metre. But when you take it in down a country lane in the UK, you can tell it's a 3 or a 4 metre. And when you actually pace out, or you look at, like I said this before, when I went to Agritechnica, how many years ago that was now, to do FSL, and we were walking around looking at equipment, and you know, you look at something that's 3 metres, and it's like, wow, that's massive in real life. And then you go and look at a 6 metre seeder, and you stop and you think, that is unreal. So then when you start looking at these bigger ones, when you're getting out to like the 20 metre ones, you know, the Hatson Bicklers and those sorts of things, that's when your brain starts thinking, okay, hang on a minute, no, we want, probably don't need this on anymore, just watching out for hikers and people out rambling like me, rambling on about stuff. But No, actual ramblers. So anyway, yes, so he's going to be going to, I don't know if I'm going to read all the tour dates out, but he's doing Glasgow, Newcastle, York, hang on, I'm trying to read, and Bradford, Coventry, Cardiff, Bath, Ipswich, Northampton, Tunbridge Wells, I think we're into February now, Stoke-on-Trent. And like he was saying, with the contract work, and the thing is, he leaves. I know his brother, and he's got a couple of guys that work with him, for him, if you want to look at it, at KCC. But he said he doesn't like being away from it all, you know. And like if you've watched any of Clarkson's farm, he doesn't really travel too far away from Chadlington. He hated going into London, so travelling around all over the place. I think it's going to be a big old culture shock, isn't it? But yeah, Manchester, Belfast, where else is he doing? Birmingham, Sheffield, Shrewsbury, Nottingham, Portsmouth. So if you're near any of these places, Leicester, Guildford, Southend, that's all into February. Then we move into March of next year. Now I'm hoping to go and see it. And the closest one, I think, to where I live is Stevenage. I did wonder if there'd be one in London. Where are we cultivating? It's not this one. Have I picked the right one? Well, this isn't harvest, is it? This is cultivating. Field 73 on our right. So, I hope there's a gate here. How do I get into this field? Yeah, then as we move into March next year, we've got Llandudno, Liverpool, Grimsby, Cambridge, the BIC at Bournemouth, Plymouth. What else have we got? Eastbourne, Stevenage, and then Kings Lynn. So I think, yeah, if we do go to the Stevenage one, which, like I say, is about the closest to where we are, we're going to be right at the very end of the tour. I was hoping to sort of catch... this is an interesting one. Single gate. And this is what I've said before about farm equipment in the UK. It's all well and good saying, I want to go bigger. But can you get a 4 metre piece of equipment, 3 metre, 4 metre through certain gateways? Double gateways, yeah. Oh, yeah, we should be alright. Just about. Look at that. Just squeaked it in. So yeah, if you're looking to get tickets, I have put a link in the description actually, if you'd like to go and see him at any of those dates in the UK. I have put a link in the description to the ticket booking place. I'm not being paid to. I don't work for the ticket company. I'm not, you know, not being paid by Kaleb. I just know, like I say, when I met the guy. And, you know, he's funny anyway when you watch Clarkson's farm, but in person, oh man, I know I've said this on this, I know people are getting fed up with me talking about it, but that's the whole point of this series. This whole series was because of Kaleb. Kaleb messaged me and said, will you do a series on Court Farm? And I wasn't intending to. But he is funny, he's witty, he's charming, he's just a lovely, lovely bloke. And I was amazed. And also, you know, like I said, I don't know, it's not this done on purpose, that the series doesn't make him look stupid. That's the wrong way of putting it. But he is so smart and so quick with his, you know, with his wit and his humour, and yeah, brilliant. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be great. So that's the plan. Yeah, we're going to go hopefully to the Stevenage one. So yeah, the world according to Kaleb on tour. Which brings me on to the next piece of news. Hang on just 1 second. Sorry, coughing fit. January 18th and 19th. So the 18th and 19th or 17th and 18th. LAMMA 24. The LAMMA show at Birmingham. It's normally early January, but yeah, I'm sure it's 17th, 18th or 18th, 19th this year. I should really get up on my screen next to me. Giants and the Farm Sim League are coming to the UK. They're going to do one of the legs. One of the tournaments is going to be at LAMMA in January. And I know a few YouTubers. We were talking about it the other day. We have a little chat from FarmCon, and there was Farm Sim Guy and Argsy and Farmer Cop and Kermit and DJ Goham, Virtual Farmer. We were all in there just chatting about it. Virtual Farmer will be there anyway because he's one of the commentators. I haven't done FSL commentating, casting for a couple of years now, but VF still does it. So he should be there casting. I'm intending to go. I'm going to go. I'm trying to get tickets for LAMMA. I want to go to see the FSL and to go to LAMMA. I haven't ever been before, and I think MrSealyp will probably come with me. Now she's a YouTuber as well. And someone messaged me and said, "Oh, were you aware of FSL and LAMMA?" And I said, "I am, and I'm hoping to go." And they did say, "Are they going to be doing YouTuber meet and greets?" I don't know. I haven't been contacted by Giants at all. It was just a conversation that a few of us YouTubers had. I know the couple of the US guys said they probably won't be able to come over for it. I mean, it's a long way to come from the US for LAMMA. But potentially some of the UK YouTubers will be there. And if you're in the UK and you fancy going to LAMMA, yeah, might be able to say hello if you come along. So yeah. FSL at LAMMA 24. It's all sorts of cool stuff happening as we move into the new year. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be brilliant. So yeah, that's all my news. I think that's everything that's been happening so far. I think so. Had a bit of a man cave studio faux pas the other day. Because it's been quite cold, the temperature's dropped. We went from, when I did that walk and talk the other day, and I said it was like 22, 23 degrees, 24, it had been like, we'd had a real warm spell in the UK, and the temperature was set to drop. And I came out to the man cave the other morning, it was 4 degrees centigrade. And it was cold. So what I did, I thought I'll put the wood burner on, I'll go indoors, make a coffee. By the time I come out, it'll have warmed the studio through, and then I can crack on and get started. So out I came. There's a nice bit of smoke coming out of the chimney. Lovely. Opened the door to the studio. I thought it was on fire. I had a heart attack. The entire man cave was filled with smoke. It was unbelievable. I've got the desk fans, so I turned the desk fans on, opened the door. The smoke was billowing out. And it turned out when I put the logs into the wood burner, which I've done every day it's been cold, I've run that wood burner the last 3 or 4 years when I come out here, never had a problem with it. As it had started to burn, one of the logs at the top had rolled and blocked the chimney. So rather than the smoke going out the chimney, a little bit was coming out. The smoke decided, oh, we can go out the vent at the front instead. So yeah, the entire man cave was filled with smoke. That took quite some time to clear that out. So anyway, just keeping you up to date with all the craziness that happens in my life, you know, all the bonkers, all the crazy. I'm already at that point. I'm sitting here now and I'm feeling breathless and I'm feeling absolutely like I need to lay down again. It's surprising, you don't think. I'm thinking back to when I had COVID before and I felt really ill before. And this is exactly how it was. You get up with the best will in the world, the best intentions, and you think, well, I'm only sitting, I'm just talking, you know. And you kind of talk and you get animated and all of a sudden you think, oh, blimey, I'm struggling to breathe. You know, you feel a bit. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking for a little while. I'm going to get the rest of this cultivating contract done. Hopefully by the time this is done, we'll have sorted out the leasing for Stonebridge Farm. We'll grab that. Actually, what we'll do, let's go to the contracting page again. Harvesting is field 20. Where was field 20? And we'll take that cotton harvester out. I'll make a start on that because I'm just curious. Field 20's got to be over here somewhere, isn't it? Oh, there we go, down there. So we can go from the store up there, just before the pub, turn down there, all the way down. I'm not sure how we'll get up to that field. I assume through this farm area here. It's an interesting one. There are a few with cotton on. I would have thought that would have been... so you get some maps and they get certain crop types that you don't get in certain countries. They take off, so you can't actually do them. So yeah, curious one. Anyway, I'll see you when this is done. We'll get that cotton work done. I'm going to say this now. This is probably going to be a shorter episode, but it's not going to be, is it? It's still going to be 40 odd minutes, probably knowing me, because I chatted a lot at the start. And then we'll get down and the daily deductions. That's what it was. We'll get the daily deductions. I was looking at the prices of those, or not the prices. They're only about £1 to place, but what they deduct. And to do 1,000, I don't think I can work out 1,000 per month because it's daily deductions, and I'm on 3-day months. If I do the £500 one, it's 1,500 a month. The next one down is 250, which means it'll be 750 a month. I think we might have to go with the 500, and rather than do 1,000 a month, we'll do 1,500. Does that seem acceptable? I think it does. I think it kind of works out. It's going to work out quite a lot over the year, but on the scale of the economy we've got on here, if we can still pick up a few contracts, through the winter might be a little bit trickier, but if we can pick up a few contracts, we can cover our rent. And even if over the winter we can't, then we get into the spring and contracts come back up again. If we've lost money over the winter, we can regain it back in the spring, so we'll do that. So yeah, hopefully we'll get that in and get that done as well. So I'll see you in a little while. Cultivating is done. We're heading down to field 20. I've already brought the harvester down. I have to say this road's a lot wider. I wasn't sure if we were going to get it down here or not. What I have done is turned into the farm. I'm going to have a look around the farm as well, because it's a part of the map I haven't been to yet. So we'll have a look when we get down there. And I didn't realise this road was like a proper used road. Luckily nothing came the other way. When I turned in there was a vehicle behind. So what I've done is just turned into the yard, and I think we've got 2 double gates and we can drive across a grass field to get to where we need to go. We are just here. So what I'm going to do, just pull this in here. Actually, while we're here, what we can do as well, if we go down to our contracts, cultivating is complete, 1,256 because we borrowed their equipment, so we'll collect on that. Engine off. So as far as I can tell, I mean, this is really cool actually. Got a little farmhouse here just past, but you've got the caravan in which you can put in sleep triggers and stuff. And then we've got the some farm buildings. This isn't an animal pen, as far as I know. It's just a shed. Yeah, little farm down here. Actually, I could probably go straight through the yard, couldn't I? I thought I'd have to cut across the field, but no, we can get straight in there. That's all right. We can come straight through the yard. There's enough room to get through there. If I move the tractor out of the way. Yeah, my initial thoughts when I came in, that's why I thought I'd check through the yard, was double gate here. And then across the field there, and we can just see over there, there's a double gate there. So I thought we'll cut across there, but we're not going to need to. Can I get past that rubble pile? I think I can. So yeah, this is unorthodox. This is a bit unusual, but not something you would usually see in the UK. What I didn't know when I was looking up about this as well, China produces a huge, I'm sure it said something like there's 100,000 cotton farms? I'm sure it said that, or was it 100,000 acres? I can't remember what it said now. But China produces a huge amount of cotton. Didn't know that. Now this is not a massive field, and this is the... Oh, these are squares, aren't they? I'm trying to think. The rounds are 10s, the squares are 20s, aren't they? So what I might need to do, there's always that gamble of will you... Oh, didn't realise it went all the way around it, that's alright. Oh yeah, it's quite big. How many bales will you get? Because you can't unload a small amount. You can unload a partial bale as long as it's gone past a certain amount. Now the frustrating thing, which I didn't even think when it popped up, and I thought, oh come on, that's interesting, we'll give that a go. Why not? KCC is nothing if not forward thinking. The sell point for this is the garden centre, which is we are currently let's go to we are currently here And we've got to take it to there. Yeah, right across the other side. And there's no clear route through. There's not, I suppose we can go up to there, cut straight across there. Yeah, there's not really... This is the frustrating bit. There's not a road that comes across here. Unless I can find trackways, maybe. I'm sure that's an open purchasable area, isn't it? If we can find a trackway that brings us across here. But then we found with this is more of a boundary than a road, because that's that yard that needs to be cleared. So whilst you can drive through there and out to here, which we did before, if you remember, we came that way, got to the yard and realised we were in trouble. So I think what we might have to do in one of our episodes is we'll come down here and we'll clear this yard, but it's going to mean buying it. How much is that plot there? 73,224. I mean, potentially we could, if we get a permit to clear it. So what we could do is just sale and return, or lease and return. So we could lease it, clear the rubble, and then we're kind of clearing ourselves a through route, maybe. I don't know. But I guess, like the real world, not everywhere has a straight route to somewhere. There's not always a shortcut to get somewhere. Sometimes it's going to take you a while to drive somewhere. That's just the nature of it. I'm sure the other side of this fence should be the M5, isn't it? Is this where the M5 was? Oh, there's houses there. I'm sure the M5. Oh yeah, just to our left. If we zoom out a bit, look. Just to our left, there's the M5. Right by it. IRL, as the youngsters say. So yeah, cottoning. I know that I'll get letters. I know I will. I know it's not a crop that we really grow in the UK. It's here. It's a contract. We are a contracting company. We're really going to need the money. So you know what? Let's get all over it. And potentially, if we fulfil this, I'm not going to hold on to these like normal baling contracts. I'll keep hold of the bales if we need them. If we do any of the hay baling contracts, I don't really think we're going to need to keep hold of any of the hay, because we can feed the cows just silage at 90%. We don't have to make total mix ration, so we're not necessarily going to need hay or straw for bedding. But potentially, I'm trying to think with this, is it 5,000 litres is a partial bale? Or is that on the 10,000 litre ones? I'm trying to think what percentage we have to go past for it to be a partial bale that you can unload. I'm sure it's 5,000 litres. Or are these the 10s? I haven't done cotton for a little while actually. I'm sure rounds are 10, aren't they? These are 20s. I'm pretty sure the trailer we got as part of this contract only does one bale at a time as well. So we're going to be backwards and forwards a little bit. So I will see you in a little while when we've got a full bale. I know I said when I started this series, and I've had a few people say, you know, one thing you were enjoying about this was, you know, each episode you were doing one job. And I have always said this, and I did say it's finding that balance, that happy medium. Whereas, you know, I would happily come on if I was live streaming, and I was live streaming saying, okay, we're doing this cotton harvest today. The whole time I'm doing this cotton harvest, we're talking, we're interacting, all that kind of stuff. But as far as a video goes, if I just post a video 25 minutes, 30 minutes long of me just harvesting a cotton field, whilst some of you will comment and say, oh, that wouldn't bother me at all, for a lot of people they don't want to just sit and watch me doing one thing. That's just unfortunately the nature of the beast. So you have to just kind of balance what you want to do with what people want to see. With, you know, I've said this before, I know I have. And to be fair, I'm just enjoying being on here. Like I was on Carpathian, a lot of the maps that have come out recently that I've been really enjoying. It's that, like I said before, it's that audiobook bit of music. I'm just enjoying the environment. I'm enjoying the scenery. It's just nice, just to chug around. And if I was live streaming, that wouldn't be a problem, but yeah, it's a little bit different for doing this. So that's going to be an issue, isn't it? I might have to come at that from a different angle once we've done a few more rounds. Oh, I've only missed one bit really. I can't imagine. I think if I was driving anywhere in the UK and I went past a cotton harvester, I think I would have a heart attack. That'd be jam on the anchors, jump out with the camera, say to MrSealyp, just give me a few minutes, I want to do some filming. If you're in the UK, if you do cotton, even if it's in polytunnels, message me, direct message me. I'll come down, we'll do some filming, it'd be brilliant. First bale to deliver, as you saw, it was a partial, because I was convinced that we'd get a full bale at 20,000 litres, and then the next bale wouldn't be enough to unload as a partial. So I thought if I do one, I think this was 12,000, just over 12,000, and the next one might not even be 10. So it was a bit of a gamble, but we are taking this to the garden centre, which is just up the road here. We worked our way, weaved our way cross country. And what we'll do is, this was quite wide. A couple of the bits, there were two walls close together, went through the little ford at the bottom, and we were dragging against the two walls. So again, it's equipment choice. It's a tricky one. This should unload here. I haven't saved this, but I probably should have done. This is the correct place. So let's see what happens, shall we? Is it here or is it the other side? Is this the bale side? Yeah, I'm on the wrong side. It's a bit misleading. I'm not gonna lie, this isn't making any sense. Do I have to unload it next to it? This doesn't make any sense. It's definitely this side. I did save it first, because just to be on the safe side. That side is garden centre bales, which is where you think the cotton would go. When I tested that, it paid me, but didn't do anything on the contract. So it has to be this side. I've tried on the grate. I'm trying off the grate. I don't understand why this isn't working. So if it doesn't work, I don't know what to do. Because the contract won't be completed and you'll fail the contract and then be charged for the missing... Right, where are we on the actual... We were right on it. I'm going to double check this again, because this is very odd. I took on the sugar beet, but harvest the cotton in field 20, take the product to the garden centre. That's definitely where we are. Garden centre. Is it just the triggers not set right, or? It's not like it's gradually taking it at all either. I am so confused at this point. Bring it over further maybe? Rented by Kaleb Cooper. So this is part of the contract borrowed. Bale, Kaleb Cooper. And if we go to contracts, we're on our bank account, so it is Kaleb Cooper contracting. Second bale, first one, I don't know if it's because I'm not feeling well, I don't know if it's because I'm not sure, I don't know whether I'm just making mistakes. I've been round and round those sell points up at the garden centre and I cannot get the cotton bale to go. So my only option at this point is to sell the bales rather than deliver them to where they're supposed to go, fail the contract and pay the fine and hope it covers everything. It's just... I've done the harvesting, I've done the collecting, it just doesn't make any sense. So, Barry's done his job while we're here. We'll go over to the store in a minute. But Barry's done his job. We have leased the farm and the fields. We now need to put in place the daily deductions. So what we'll do is we'll check the map. And I'll show you where we're at. So, back over to here. We've got the main farm, 181, 174, 176, 177. We're going to go with daily deductions into decoration, into others. And if I go for, we'll go for the 500. So that'll be 500 per day, not per month. So that's going to be 1,500 for a month, which is way more, like I say, than I can figure that prices are for renting, leasing, farm business tenancies and that kind of stuff. But bearing in mind that may just be for acreage of land. I mean, we own this already, but we're going to take into account the farm as well. So we're going to go for 1,500 a month, so 500 a day. So that one there overlaps with another object. What object does it overlap with? We just need to find some way to place it where it doesn't overlap with something. Oh, there we go. We'll just put a little motor oil can. It's overlapping with everything. Anywhere on the farm it doesn't overlap. If I press triangle I can just place it anywhere. If we just put the little oil thing there, boom, there we go. So that's going to deduct 500 per day, and on 3-day months that's 1,500 a month. So that's going to cover our leasing of the farm and the 3 fields, and we've got work to do on those as well. Thank you, Barry, for organising that. Awesome. I'm going to head over to the store, and then yeah, we'll just have to accept the fact this hasn't gone the way we expected. It's a bit frustrating, but beacon's on. I was trying to find all different ways of cutting through, but in all honesty, up past the windmill, bung a right, round past all the farms, and we just cut away across country. And then from Longmeadow Stores we cut across the waste ground, over the little bridge. Job done. Oh, there's tents again. They weren't there this morning. How bizarre. There were just caravans there. So I keep racking my brains thinking it's something really obvious I've missed. I've tried unloading this bale all around that sell point, on it, around it, in front of it, behind it, to the side of it. If I go around to the other side, to the other sell point, which is the bale sell point, which is where you think for a cotton bale that's where it will go, it just pays you for the bale and doesn't fulfil the contract. So it has to be that side. That's what it's showing. And then did I say this earlier? Then I thought, well, maybe you're not supposed to do cotton on here. But then why would cotton contracts come up? If it had been removed, they wouldn't come up at all. There'd be nothing for cotton. There'd be no cotton contracts. There'd be no cotton on the fields. It just wouldn't be here. So yeah, I don't know. Curious. These wheels stick out a long way on this. So, cutting across the dead ground just here. Cross over the bridge, round the side. I've left the other bale there. I have saved it, but I'll try this bale in that side as well, but I'm not holding out much hope. And I think once we've done that, I need to edit it and post it, and then I need to go and lay down. I'm starting to get a headache as well. Oh, I've had enough of this. This is the 4th time. Honestly. Not fun. It's doing the rounds again. It's quite bad. A friend of the family, their nan is in hospital and they don't think she's going to make it. It's bad news. I was right what I said. Each one of these is about 12. This is 12.6, the other one's 12.5. Well, actually, it could have put us at 5,000 litres. I don't know if it would have been enough to unload a partial. That's why I did 2 individuals. So yeah, that's not working. I've been all the way around it. I've tried in front of this building. I've tried everywhere. I don't know what to do. No, I'll try it here as well. Nope. So yeah, we just have to sell the bales, fail the contract, and hope that the fine's not more than we made on the bales, which potentially it could be. It's going to be really annoying if it is. And this is not the way to do it, really. Okay, let's see what happens. Right, beacon's off. Check on the contract. So, Austin, field 20. Need to deliver the... not... Cancel that. I'll lose all payments. Failed. Missing crops, 57. I've lost money. I'm down like £1,500. Absolute nonsense. Oh, I'm going to have to get reimbursed for that. That's just... Anyway, that's today's episode. Not quite what I was hoping for. Probably not what you were hoping for either. We've got a sowing contract to do. We've got a sugar beet contract to do. We have now got a lease. So we've got 1,500 a month we've got to cover anyway. Which is fine. We should be able to do it. If it's not enough, we can always add another one in and we can pay more. And see how we go, really. We're heading towards winter, so, you know, And I would imagine, well, yeah, we're probably going to get weeds on our field as well. So I've got Court Farms anyway. So Court Farm are going to have to go and do the weeding at some point, just make sure their field's all right. Oh, we've got the harvest on our farm as well, haven't we? I forgot about that. I'm so annoyed about that. That's really frustrating. Yeah. So we've got to harvest that field as well. Get that done. And then check on those. They're going to need... we've got no soil samples, so we've got no data on those. We're going to need to do soil sampling. I might take a scout. I might get the ISARIA and do a manual one. Get one of the big spread ones, because they're all just saying 50 at the moment, which is no good. We need some data, especially if we're going to do any more fertilising. I don't know what state these are in, and I can't find out until we get some data, because that's not going to show us anything. All that. That'll be in the next episode. I'm going to take a slow trudge back, try and get my breath. I hope you've enjoyed it. Sorry if it's not, wasn't really the result I was hoping for either. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.